also looks like Becky has some cool
new hands.
I'm gonna do a little massage first.
Doctors expect Zion's hands to become stronger and grow with him, but he's already reached one milestone. Today, he signed his name.
You go, boy.
Anna Werner, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Vandalism or hate crime. Police are still searching for answers about a flag burned in a driveway. And the homeowner has a new flag to fly tonight. What happened in a Jackson County courtroom involving kidnapping and people police say have ties to a street gang. Plus, how to protect your body from the heat as the mercury rises. Put down the remote. WLOX News at 6 is next.
Now, the news for South Mississippi. WLOX News at 6.
Are the words "Blacks Rule" and a burned Mississippi state flag considered a hate crime or vandalism? Pascagoula police are still trying to answer that question one day after those inflammatory words and a charred flag were discovered on a driveway in Pascagoula. Tonight, there's a new state flag flying at Bob Coleman's home. Patrice Clark with where the investigation stands.
85-year-old Bob Coleman's was like a kid on Christmas Day as he opened his new Mississippi flag.
Two men come and they parked out front and they brought me a flag in a box and said they were from the American Legion in Goche.
The disabled Korean War veteran says this was just one of 3 flags Good Samaritans dropped off to him after WLOX aired his story.
Well, it makes me feel good because I was fixing to have to go search to find one because I think a lot of that stuff right now has been took off the market.
And the words "Blacks Rule" that covered a portion of his driveway, well, some people worked to clean up that graffiti for him for free.
The big thing is I didn't know that I had people that would help me in this respect.
The patriotic Pascagoula man admits he is still disturbed by this ugly act that took place at his home.
The people that done this and the people that was behind this is really evil.
Pascagoula Police Department investigator Shannon Massey agrees what happened was horrible, but says police are not labeling it a hate crime just yet.
Is we had to establish who is actually a suspect in this matter. Once we establish that, we have certain criteria that we have to find, and if it meets that criteria, just like any other crime, it has to have elements of a crime.
As for Coleman's, he says he will not live in fear and will continue proudly displaying what he calls a symbol of heritage.
I'm going to continue flying my American flag and my Mississippi flag as long as I live.
In Pascagoula, Patrice Clark, WLOX News.
If you have any information that could help catch the suspect, call the Pascagoula Police Department or you can call Crime Stoppers. Tonight, officials say a St. Martin woman who was kidnapped and beaten will make a full recovery. This comes as 6 people police are involved with the Simon City Royals gang are charged with her kidnapping. Hugh Keaton has the details.
Christina, the spokesperson for the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, tells us they won't release the identity of the abducted woman. Deputies say they discovered her last Friday bound with tape and beaten in a St. Martin home. She was taken to the hospital today. The 6 people arrested in connection with the incident were charged with kidnapping. A Jackson County judge has set bond for each of them at $75,000. 4 men and 2 women are charged. Investigators say all parties, including the victim, have ties to the Simon City Royal Street Gang. Sheriff Mike Ezel says more charges could still be filed. If convicted of kidnapping, each person faces up to life in prison and a $50,000 fine. Christina?
Thank you, Hugh. A woman accused of driving under the influence and causing an accident that killed 3 people appeared today at a George County courtroom on those charges. Kimberly Daly waived her right to a preliminary hearing, and now the case has been bound over to a grand jury. George County investigators says Daly was involved in the triple fatal crash in May on Marshall Smith Road near Barton Agricola Road. Soon, dozens of local governments impacted by the Deepwater Horizon oil spill will be cashing checks totaling more than $35 million. That money comes from a BP settlement that a judge has now signed off on. Daniel Thomas has details.
Well, Mississippi's Attorney General says he believes this settlement is a good deal. Jim Hood says 40 county and city governments, as well as school districts, made loss claims against BP stemming from the 2010 oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, BP will pay a total of about $35.8 million. Hood says the payments should go out in the next 30 days.
I'm really proud of the way that our municipal and county governments and local entities work together to reach this settlement. And, you know, I don't think we'll ever be made whole. I mean, it's hard to put a dollar figure on the damage that was done by BP. But I think, you know, $35 million to about 40 entities that made claims is a fair settlement.
Now, meanwhile, there could be a battle in the state legislature as to who is entitled to Mississippi's settlement with BP. BP is paying the state $750 million for economic damages to compensate for losses as a result of the disaster. The state legislature decides how that money will be spent. State Representative David Berry of Bay St. Louis would like all the money to go to the coast, but he says he expects leaders from other parts of the state to fight against that. So he is drafting a bill that will require 80% of the money to go to the 3 coastal counties. Christina.
Thank you, Danielle. Well, it's sticky and sizzling outside. Let's head out in the open for the evening forecast with Chief Meteorologist Carrie Duncan.
All right, thanks, Christina. You know, it really is a nice evening in the shade. Now, yes, it's a little bit warm, but I've certainly felt it a lot stickier. So lower humidities definitely making it feel more bearable, if you will, especially in the shade. Now in the sun, all bets are off. It is hot. We've seen some showers, though, so some folks got a break from that. Our WLOX 24/7 radar is showing that we are seeing, and we have seen some showers throughout the area today. But moving in closer around Hancock and Pearl River County, you'll notice that a lot of those thunderstorms that were just north of Diamond Head and south of Picayune, they've started moving off to the southwest or continued moving to the southwest and have pretty much dissipated. As we head through the evening hours, we are going to see temperatures fall off a bit, but still settling in the upper 70s to low 80s. So a little bit more humidity creeping back into the area. It is going to be very hot tomorrow. We're talking 97 degrees forecast for our area along the coastal areas, which means inland locations could be hitting that century mark. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later in weather.
Thanks, Carrie. With temperatures soaring, it's easy to get in serious trouble quickly health-wise. Karen Abernathy has some tips to help keep you safe during these scorching summer months.
Well, it doesn't take long for these high temperatures to catch up with you if you're spending time outdoors. Prolonged exposure to the heat can lead to serious heat-related illnesses, and hospitals on the coast are reporting an increase in emergency department visits due to the heat. Tonight, we take you to Garden Park Medical Center in Gulfport for some life-saving tips. As temperatures soar, so do visits to the emergency department.
Definitely an increased volume of patients with heat-related problems.
Dr. David Carney says people of all ages end up in the ER with heat-related illnesses that can lead to serious complications, even death.
And the 3 things that we think about here are heat cramps, that's the mildest form, just cramping that has to do with mild dehydration, and then that can extend into heat exhaustion, and that's more nausea and vomiting, headaches, a greater degree, and you can end up the highest degree of heat exposure would be basically like a heat stroke, and literally like the name sounds, that's when you start having neurologic problems.
Dr. Carney says as your body works to cool itself under extreme heat, blood rushes to the surface of the skin and less blood reaches your brain, muscles, and other organs.
I mean, you can actually have renal failure, rhabdo. There's a lot of things that can happen, a lot of complications that can happen if it goes on long enough.
Staying hydrated is the primary key to staying safe, and if you work long hours in the heat, it's even more critical.
Fluid intake, fluid intake, fluid intake. If your temperature goes up to about 104, you can actually have a seizure. And so, you know, that's the reason why it's so important for people to stay hydrated and have breaks out of the heat.
He says with prompt treatment, most people recover completely from heat-related illnesses. But if you have symptoms, don't wait.
Anytime you're having symptoms like that, headache, nausea, vomiting, fatigue, you probably should come in to be evaluated.
And of course, you can suffer heat-related illnesses even if you're not working or exercising outdoors. So even if you're simply relaxing on the beach, drink plenty of fluids and avoid alcohol and caffeine.
Thank you, Karen. Still to come tonight.
Honoring some South Mississippi heroes. Meet some of the people who go above and beyond to help save lives.
The news for South Mississippi continues. WLOX News at 6. Sponsored in high definition exclusively by Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Start with Gulf Coast. Finish with confidence.
They respond to cries for help and make those split-second decisions that can save lives. Today, more than a dozen first responders from Hancock and Harrison Counties were honored for going above and beyond to serve their communities. Friends on Louie tonight on the men and women who are being hailed as heroes.
Who can forget these dramatic images? In April, Gulfport police officer Luis Garcia calmly talked with a man and saved him from ending his life on the Kramer Bridge. On Tuesday, Garcia was among 14 first responders honored at an AMR luncheon for a job well done. The governor says these men and women have answered a special calling.
Each day you have the rare opportunity of being able to respond to times of tragedy and to make a difference. We know why you are here. God sent you to save others.
Most of the award recipients responded to medical emergencies.
1, 2, 3.
Paramedic Heather Miller was credited for resuscitating 5 people this year who were victims of cardiac arrest.
You feel that you do it over the years and you've saved many, many lives. It's good to be recognized sometimes and be thanked.
Although they're being hailed as heroes, these honorees say they were just doing their jobs.
I'm somewhat humble, so it's very unique to be able to be recognized for something that we do day in and day out.
Perhaps the biggest reward was hearing from the people they helped save.
We appreciate all you've done. We appreciate you.
In February, Billy White suffered multiple blood clots in his legs and lungs while driving with his wife in Gulfport.
I owe them my life.
The couple got to meet the dispatcher who took their 911 call.
I'm just grateful that I had God and the paramedics and EMT people gave me another chance to be here.
I just want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I just appreciate you all so much.
In Gulfport, Trang Pham Bui, WLOX News.
2 of the award recipients are not emergency responders. They work for the City of Diamond Head's Water Department, and they helped save a person who was in cardiac arrest. A building once home to the Police Athletic League will now serve a new purpose for a Gulfport community. The brand new Family Enrichment Center in the heart of Gaston Point was celebrated with a ribbon cutting today. Gulfport Police Chief Leonard Pena says the center is about providing a location where families can learn together. The new use of the building is made possible by a partnership between the Gulfport Police and Climb CDC. Officials say the hours of operation should be finalized within the next month or 2, and they hope to hold a back-to-school dinner once school is back in session. Touchdown in Virginia, the Saints have made it to West Virginia for training camp at the Greenbrier. Plus, we're heading over to MGM Park where the Shuckers are preparing for the first of 5 home games.
Tonight on WLOX News at 6:30.
Absentee voting has more than doubled in some counties in Mississippi, and the increase is raising eyebrows.
Tonight on WLOX News at 6:30, where you get the news for South Mississippi.
The Saints just arrived at the Greenbrier to start training camp. The team arrived to temperatures in the 70s, clear blue skies. Fall football weather in mountain summertime. In terms of putting on training camp, President Jim Justice is hoping that 1 year wiser equals 1 year better.
I think it's much less hectic. You know, the fields are in great shape. You know, it's been so much easier for Jay and working all the stuff he does with all the equipment and everything to move in and all that kind of stuff. The people are more relaxed because they know what to do and everything, and so it's yeah. I don't want to say we're old hat at this. I mean, you know, but yeah, it's easier. We'll
keep you up to date on the happenings at Saints training camp right here on WLOX. The Biloxi Shuckers are back at home tonight for a 5-game series against the Jackson Generals. AJ Jardina has a quick look at tonight's game from MGM Park.
Thank you, Christina. The Shuckers are riding a 3-game win streak, hope to make it 4 tonight. They will host the Jackson Generals. The game 1 of a 5-game series runs through Saturday. Now, the Shuckers have been pretty hot lately. They've won 3 straight, as we said. That gives them now 14 wins, 15 losses in the second half. But overall, they still lead the Southern League with 57 wins, 40 losses. Both of the pitchers tonight are looking for their first win. Johnny Helwig, he's 0-3 with a 7.59 ERA for the Shuckers. And the Jackson Generals will go with Dylan Unsworth. He's 0-4 with a 6.43 earned run average. So come on out tonight. I can tell you right now that it was hot, but there is a slight breeze. And if you look around, most of the seats are covered in a shadow, so it's not going to be too hot in that breeze. I tell you what, folks, it feels great. Game starts at 7:10. Come on out. Just of interest tonight at 10 o'clock, I'm going to have a feature on an 11-year-old junior golfer who scored an albatross. What is that? Tune in tonight at 10. Back to you, Christina.
Thank you, AJ. Is there any green in the radar to help cool us down? Carrie Duncan has your extended forecast details coming up.
Now, the weather for South Mississippi with Chief Meteorologist Carrie Duncan.
Well, good evening, South Mississippi. Here's a look at what's happening with our WLOX 24/7 radar. We have seen some showers and thunderstorms, but most of that, or actually all of that, has now moved out of the area, and we are seeing a little bit of cloud cover remaining and lingering. Should make for a beautiful sunset this evening. Sun will set just before 8 o'clock, and we're going to continue to see, again, pretty pleasant conditions. The humidity isn't as high as what we've been seeing, so especially in the shade, things are nice. AJ was saying that it was nice out, and again, this is in comparison to what we've been seeing. The humidity had been really high, but yesterday and today, it's been quite pleasant. Here's a look at satellite radar imagery. Notice a lot of shower activity. Again, you're going to hear us talk about the periphery, the outer periphery edge of that ridge of high pressure situated back to our west just a little bit, but you can definitely see those showers rotating around that periphery of the high pressure ridge. What's going to happen is this system that ridge is going to continue to move back toward the west. We see that hot air, that heat expand all throughout, well, almost all of the southeast. But as this high pressure ridge moves back into the desert southwest, we start to see a little bit more of a troughing action, which basically means we're going to see a little bit higher of a rain chance. In fact, we're going to see a pretty good rain chance as we head into Friday and Saturday. Our rain chances are going to pick up over the next couple of days, but we are going to continue to see, again, a little bit of a break from the heat just because we're going to see higher rain chances. But we're still going to be very hot, especially through the early part of the day. So heat advisories could become an issue, especially as we head through the day tomorrow. It is going to be very hot. But this evening, notice we do see those showers. This is a little bit behind, so it looks like most of the shower activity is already out of the area. Once that sun sets, we're really not expecting much more. And then moving into the morning hours, not a whole lot going on. But then look at tomorrow afternoon. We start to see a few showers, but really very light activity. The heaviest activity staying up into our 3 inland counties, into Pearl River County, Stone, and then George County. But then it starts to move down to the south. So this system, we've upped our rain chances to about a 30% chance for tomorrow. So always a good idea to just keep that umbrella handy with those summertime thunderstorms. Temperatures right now into the mid-80s in Bay St. Louis, where they saw a little bit of relief from the heat with the cloud cover. Feels like 97. All of our feels like number almost under 100, with the exception of Biloxi. Golden Nugget and Biloxi looking good. Also, Hancock, Bank, and Gulfport looking beautiful this evening. The next 7 days shows 30% chance actually as we head through the day tomorrow. We're going to up that, and then that stays with us through Thursday. 50% chance on Friday, and then 30% chance Saturday through Tuesday. Christina, 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms this time of year is very typical, and it's a very typical summertime pattern, but extra hot tomorrow.
Thank you, Carrie. A restoration project in the Bay, a beautiful piece of artwork is coming back to life. We'll tell you how.
Tonight on WLOX News at 10.
Flying in and out of Gulfport Biloxi International Airport just got a lot easier thanks to a new program called Global Entry. I'll tell you how it works.
New tonight.
The mural on the back of the Hancock Bank building in downtown Bay St. Louis is a step closer to getting the restoration work it badly needs. The Patty Bannister Foundation has agreed to fund the hiring of a firm that will come with a restoration plan for the mural. The promenade, as the mural is called, traces the history of Bay St. Louis from the 1600s to today. The mural was originally painted on the building by artist John McDonald in 1997. It sustained extensive damage during Hurricane Katrina and the storms to follow.
It's lost some of its sheen, some of its glory. Didn't have the vibrant colors anymore. Water has come up on it, faded the colors, and this is an opportunity, thanks to the Patty Bannister Foundation, to start this process.
The Mississippi Arts Commission supplied a grant to artist John McDonald to paint the well-known mural 18 years ago. And that's all for the news at 6. Be sure to follow us over to WLOX-CBS for the news that starts at 6:30.